It's Friday, the 2nd of July 2021. Welcome to the Fear and Greed Business Headlines, the business news you need in just 5 minutes. I'm Sean Aylmer. In today's headlines, house prices defy skeptics and record their best annual rise in 17 years. But is it all about to come crashing down? Plus, China's leader Xi Jinping celebrates 100 years of the Communist Party with a warning for the West. New South Wales remains the hotspot in the fight against COVID as other states record few cases, and a new tool from the government that allows easy comparison of superannuation funds. Our lead story today, house prices in capital cities have ended the financial year 12% higher than where they started, with Sydney properties leading the way up 15%, defying dire predictions of a slump in the market. Across the country, including regional Australia, prices rose 13.5%, the highest annual growth rate in 17 years. The CoreLogic figures show that Melbourne house prices grew 7.7% last financial year, normally a great result, but the worst among the capital cities. Perth was up almost 10%, while all other capitals achieved double-digit growth. Hobart and Darwin were both up around 20%. That's the good news. The less good news is that the steam looks to be coming out of the market, particularly at the top end. In Sydney, Melbourne, Perth and Darwin, price growth in June was lower than May, and units have well and truly underperformed houses, rising 5.5% over the year. So what's the state of the housing market? Price growth has probably peaked. Auction clearance rates have come off over the past month or so. Certainly lockdowns don't help. Interest rates will rise from here. There's a bit of fear of missing out going on, and housing affordability is starting to deteriorate. The unknown is whether regulators will step in. All in all, the best might be over. In overseas news, the president of China, Xi Jinping, has said his country will take resolute action to beat off any push for Taiwan's independence, and he was determined to complete reunification with the self-governed island. The president said countries trying to bully China were on a collision course with 1.4 billion people. Speaking at celebrations for the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party, Mr. Xi, an ideological strongman who has run the country for more than 8 years, said Beijing would not tolerate criticism from other countries and would modernise its defence forces. Around 130 countries are close to signing off on a deal that makes multinational companies pay an effective tax rate of at least 15%, according to the OECD. The deal will push companies, including the big technology groups, to pay tax in the jurisdiction in which they earn revenue, rather than shifting it to a low taxing regime. The European Union launched digital green certificates overnight, which will allow people who have proof of vaccination to travel in the region without need for quarantine. The app-based certificate gives travellers a QR code, and more than 200 million have already been downloaded. And Donald Rumsfeld, Defence Secretary under Presidents Gerald Ford and George W. Bush, and perhaps best remembered for his known knowns and known unknowns comments during the Iraq War, has died aged 88. Locally, New South Wales reported 24 new cases of community-transmitted COVID-19 yesterday, while there were 2 in Queensland and 1 in the Northern Territory. New South Wales has recorded 195 cases in a little over 2 weeks when the Bondi outbreak began, and 2 people are in intensive care. And the National Cabinet will meet today amid calls by Labor states to reduce the number of international arrivals. The Australian newspaper is also reporting this morning that the Prime Minister Scott Morrison will seek a new deal to secure agreement on vaccination thresholds that would eliminate lockdowns and allow travel. The federal government yesterday launched its Your Super comparison tool, which ranks default MySuper products by their annual performance over a 6-year period and the fees charged to members. The top 5 products were all industry funds led by Australian Super and Host Plus. Both provided an annual return over 6 years of 8.1%. The worst performers provided returns closer to 5%. You can access the ranker via the ATO website or MyGov app. Go and do it. You've no excuse now not to be searching for the best returns for your retirement income. And how about this one? Up to 70% of new hires at Hutchison Ports will have to be sourced from employees' families and friends, and a union list of names, under what the Maritime Union of Australia is calling a groundbreaking deal. According to a report in the Financial Review, the deal also includes a clause that prevents job losses from automation and covers almost 400 employees at Port Botany in Sydney and Brisbane terminals. It follows 3 years of negotiations, including industrial action. The average pay in the industry is $170,000. Incredible that deals like this can be done in 2021. And Virgin Australia has launched an online poll to gauge support for pets on planes. From December this year, airlines and pilots can determine if pets will be allowed to travel in aircraft cabins. Virgin carries around 30,000 pets each year in the cargo holds of planes. I know what I'm supposed to say now, but no. That's the Fear and Greed business headlines for today. Make sure you hit follow so you get it every morning. And if you'd like more detail and more stories, search for our longer daily podcast called Fear and Greed. We also release a daily interview. Today we're talking to Elgar Welsh, CEO of media monitoring company Stream. I'll be back later with the afternoon market report. I'm Sean Aylmer. Have a great day.